We're going to get into today's Cowboys mailbag. Before we do, there's no way we can get to every single question. That is why my DMs are open on Twitter. So if we don't get to your question, just hit me up. It's at WhatGoingDowney. That link will be in the comments and in the description. First up from Zachary Marquez, how much money are you willing to spend on the defense this free agency? Yes, all of it is my answer. It depends on how much the Cowboys have, or in reality, how much they want to create. You can create a pretty good amount of money by paying Dak Prescott, as weird as that might sound. You lower his cap hit, restructuring some deals, cutting some players. You can free up money. And I'm willing to spend pretty much all of it on that side of the ball. From Yo Squiggly Man, Dalton Schultz season grade. Should he start? I think overall, a B. Relative to expectations, got to be an A+, right? So I am down to let Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin compete. I think Jarwin gives you a little bit more as a vertical threat in the passing game, but you got two decent enough options, if not outright solid options, at tight end. Jerome Roybal, what's your dream offseason? All right, number one, I pay Dak Prescott. Number two, my dream is probably trade that first-round pick for someone we never thought would be available and instantly becomes one of the better defensive players. That's a lot to ask for, but you said dream. I want to find some cheap, solid veterans that I can sign to help build out my roster. I want to restructure some deals to save some money, and if I can't trade that first-round pick, I'm either going to go Caleb Farley or maybe I just trade down in the first round. From David Bush, should the Cowboys just draft a quarterback to replace Dak Prescott? It's not as easy as just drafting a quarterback to replace Dak Prescott, by the way. A lot of it depends on what quarterbacks are there. In the 7-round Cowboys mock draft we just did, all 4 guys were gone. The Trevor Lawrence, the Justin Fieldses, the Zach Wilsons, those guys were off the board. They were not there. So I don't know if it's as simple as drafting a quarterback and, we've got someone just as good. The goal, by the way, should be to pay Dak. That should be goal number one. If you do that, you're fine at quarterback. If you don't pay Dak Prescott, my recommended move is to look at the draft. Because whatever quarterback you're going to get is not going to be as good as Dak Prescott. And for those of you who are in the mindset of, you're never going to be able to win with Dak, you're going to be able to win with Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, with the Cowboys team that, frankly, isn't great around him, but you should just invest in the defensive draft. If you're not going to pay Dak, I'm of the mindset, frankly, blow it up and rebuild. That's probably your next best option, even if it's not as good. So what do you guys want to do with Dak Prescott? Type P for pay him right now, get it over with. Type T for trade, or type in W for wait. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So scroll on down, get your votes in, and let me know. From Kilgore, hey Tom, just a joke by the way, but this is you in a nutshell. So no, the Cowboys should not get, I think he means Kalen Ballage. Speaking of Ballage, that brings us this week's sponsor, Manscaped. Use code Cowboys125. I like that, Kilgore. I appreciate that. I think that is pretty funny. Also, if you super chat me $25, I will always laugh at your jokes. Fun fact. All right, Tristan Brown here. Run us through who you want for the Cowboys' 7 picks. I'd say the mock draft does about a decent enough job as I can there. Frankly, look, it's available on the channel. Go check it out, youtube.com/CowboysTV if you're watching this on demand later in the week. I like Caleb Farley in round 1. If he's not there, I honestly don't know. Having suggested picks for, day 3, honestly, guys, it's impossible because I have no idea who's going to end up being there. I didn't think Bradley and I was going to be there where he was, and look what happened. From JC, what team will most likely give up the house to trade for number 10 should one of the top 4 quarterbacks fall? Good question. I think San Francisco could be an option, which might be your ideal option if there's a defender you still want. Only move down 2 picks, acquire some extra assets, still get the guys there. I think the Bears makes some sense. The Colts make some sense. The further down you go, the more you'll get back in a trade. From Maseo, let's the Panthers move on from Teddy. Would you sing him as a backup? I don't know if I'd serenade him, but I would sign him, depending on the cost. I think the Cowboys found a sweet spot this season with a cheap enough backup quarterback, and if Dak had been able to return at some point in the season, you would have ended up being okay. So I'm open to it, just depends on the right cost. He might still be looking for a little bit more money and more playing time elsewhere. From Devry M, any faith in Dan Quinn making a top 10 defense? If they get better players, sure. It depends on what we want out of a top 10 defense. I can make the defense look like a top 10 unit. If I run the ball and control the clock and make my offense worse, I can make the defense look better from a scoring and yards perspective. Even when the defense was better in 2018, 2019, they weren't really top 10. They were close to it. My goal is to get to league average. If I can get around league average, and that was a result of getting better players and utilizing those players correctly via Dan Quinn's scheme, I think they'll be in a better spot. America's team. I was waiting for one of these. So the Cowboys have not signed Dak last year and got Tom Brady. Seems like he can bring any team to the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys are desperate to make it. Here's my response. Let's say the Cowboys, they don't pay Dak Prescott, they pay Tom Brady instead, and they don't really make any other moves because they wouldn't. That's what the Cowboys do. Does Tom Brady will this Cowboys team to a Super Bowl? And the answer is hell no. Because imagine a Dak Prescott-led team having their quarterback throw 3 interceptions. Would they ever win that game in the playoffs, by the way? God, no. This team can't handle 1 turnover, let alone 3 of them. Brady was an upgrade over Jameis Winston. That's a big reason why the Bucs did as well as they did this season. If the Cowboys had a healthy Dak Prescott and the Bucs defense, oh, baby, now we're cooking with gas. So it's not like you bring in Tom Brady and boom, all of our problems are fixed. If anything, Brady's actually probably not as good in Dallas, because the defense isn't as good. The skill guys are just as good. But the offensive line for the Cowboys was so decimated by injuries, Brady's going to have some problems there. So in terms of going from Dak to Brady, it doesn't do anything. Now, if you had told me, hey, Tom, 100% guarantee the Cowboys get there, yeah, I'm going to do it. But that's not how it works. From the great house of Constance Von Neuville, what would Dak's record be if he had the Bucs defense? Probably at least 11-5 if he stayed healthy, of course, the entire season. From Grant Lee, why not trade Cooper for a solid draft pick and be able to sign a Marcus Maye? Because Cooper's the number 1 receiver, and even if I get a first-round pick, I am then spending that on a receiver who's not as good as Amari Cooper is right now. And Marcus Maye's probably going to hit the open market. If you are trying to save money, cut the linebacker and save $7 million. Like, you can sign all of these guys. You just have to be creative with the cap. The Cowboys know how to do that. They did it with Tyron Smith. They just added fake years to his deal and brought his cap hit down significantly. You can do that. It's not difficult. The Cowboys just don't like doing it for some reason, and they claim, we have no salary cap space, as they roll over $20 million every single year. They can sign these guys if they want to. You don't have to move on from Cooper to make it happen. All right, so speaking of Cooper, this could be your answer here. Who is your favorite Cowboys player? Okay, it'll be current player, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. Is it a Dak Prescott? CeeDee Lamb, a very popular answer as of right now since he's the fun new young guy. Let me know who your favorite Cowboys player is. From Varin, do you like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah as a potential pick? I don't love him at 10. If I trade down to like 15, 16, somewhere in there, I like it a little bit more. If my top 2 corners are gone and I trust my tackle spot, I do like trading down and making him one of my picks at that point.